We can look at China to get an idea of what is coming here in the United States. World's first bank entirely run by robots opens in China. China's second largest lender by assets, China Construction Bank, has opened a Shanghai branch run entirely by robots that greet customers and manage accounts. The bank doesn't just utilize robots, it's packed full with new technology, including virtual reality, artificial intelligence, and facial recognition. As soon as customers walk through the front door, they are met by a robot that asks and answers questions using voice recognition. Smart automated tellers capable of a range of services, including opening an account, money transfer, foreign exchange, gold investment, and the issue of wealth management products. Yep, all all robots. Wealthy clients, however, they will be able to get a private room reserved for remote chats with client relationships direct video feed. And what, that's 10% of the population? We are entering a world where no one will want to live. That's for sure. Human bankers are still needed to offer professional advice for the wealthy clients. Yes, robots taking away jobs worldwide. McDonald's has decided to experiment to see if they can replace workers with robots. We see robots already taking away jobs here in the United States. They are taking over every aspect of society. They are also headed for the retail business, delivering freight and eliminating truckers, automated trucks. And the author of this article says, well, if the sensors break down on a big rig truck going 60 to 70 miles per hour on the freeway, that's potentially 40 tons barreling down the highway unattended, except by artificial intelligence. Automation isn't a foolproof technology yet, and it can also be exploited by hackers. So this journalist or author of the article foresees McDonald's and other fast food chains and big corporations like Walmart potentially being robbed as people steal products while a single human attends the machines? Oh, that might happen in the beginning. But the consequences to those people stealing the products, people will learn that everything has a sensor in it, and those products will be able to be found. And all of the surveillance all over the place with the facial recognition, they will be able in real time to see people stealing the products. Oh, this world will be fully controlled. There will be surgeon robots. We already have them, but these robots have caused apparently 144 deaths. Robots are also coming for the tech industry and factory work as iPhone manufacturer Foxconn is replacing a massive 60,000 workers with robots. Oh, Foxconn is opening up a manufacturing plant in Racine, Wisconsin? Or is it Michigan? Forgot the state. Foxconn. They're the manufacturer of iPhones, where people were jumping out the window committing suicide because of how Foxconn treats their workers. Yay, Trump, for bringing us that deal. People will have jobs in Wisconsin. Or is it Michigan? I think it's Wisconsin. Scott Walker is the governor of Wisconsin. Anyway, or Michigan. Okay. Foxconn will be also employing robots in Wisconsin or Michigan. So people are being duped. And Foxconn is getting, oh, a really nice tax deal. Oh, that you guys in Wisconsin or Michigan will have to pay. This is the world, you know. It's become very obvious that our governments are betraying their people in countries all over the world. It is obvious now. And yeah, we're still sitting back, allowing this. Let me just go briefly to government can't find 20 trillion while pension funds are tanking. Again, we do nothing. This information has been out to the public for so many years. So many years. Money just going missing in the trillions, bailouts. We just give trillions to banks to bail them out. Pension funds already, you know, and it has been going on for years, especially with major corporations reneging on their promises, cutting back on their pensions. Yeah, I would say that Americans really, boy, they love to be thoroughly degraded. I don't know. Missing 20 trillion, and that does not refer to the national debt. If 1,000 US and global pension fund managers started asking questions, it could change everything, like stopping a nuclear war. And that is a quote of Catherine Austin Fitts, who was a former U.S. Assistant Secretary of Housing and Urban Development under Clinton, and now the president of Solari Incorporated. And I do recommend that you bookmark Solari Report, though I think you might get a little bit of a taste of an article, but you will have to subscribe. And if you don't know Catherine Austin Fitts, you might want to just put her name in a search bar on YouTube and listen to her. A financial analyst like no other in our time. So, 20 trillion unaccounted for, gone from the Department of Defense and from it pretty much is every federal agency stealing our money. You know, that tax check that we send to the IRS. So she does have an article, The State of Our Pension Funds, which I did highlight in the video that I posted not too long ago, today. And it's right here, The State of Our Pension Funds. If you want to know what's happening, If you have a pension and you think you're going to be getting that pension, I suggest you click on the link below and read what Catherine Austin Fitts has to say. Yeah, you could begin to see a blinding light that changes your mind and changes your approach to the staggering debt your fund is dealing with. And in the process, you could help lead the way to a peaceful revolution. I'm sorry, we don't have any chance of a revolution, not with the condition of the majority of the American people. Some of Fitz's quotes. So, what is the problem? If it's not a problem for 21 trillion to go missing from the Department of Defense and Housing and Urban Development, and it is possible for the government to come up with more than 20 trillion to give or loan to the banks in a bailout when there is no legal obligation to do so, and when we, the government, can transfer trillions of the most valuable technology in the world to private corporations at zero cost to them and great cost to the taxpayers. I assure you that fixing whatever pension fund problem there is not difficult. However, the political will must exist and want to. That's the problem. The problem is the American people. The problem is that those who represent you are betraying you 24/7. And if you want to get that pension well deserved, you better start acting. You better start demanding. You got to change your psyche and your mentality. Most Americans live in this delusion, in this fantasy land, like everything's just, hunky dory. Hey, the economy is great. Trump is bringing back work to America. Great. Well, you gotta look a little bit further into what our government is doing. If we can print money to give 20 trillion to the banks and let 21 trillion go missing from the federal government, why is it a problem to print 5 trillion to fund the pension funds? Federal Reserve does it all the time. So her basic position is prosperity for the many, not the few, is eminently possible and doable. Yes, but we have to stop listening to these people in Congress, as well as our state governments or local governments, and you've got to stop believing what they are saying because they lie. They lie. Our planetary governance and financial system currently operates significantly outside the law. Whether the cost of war, organized crime, corruption, environmental damage, suppression of technology, or secrecy, this lawlessness and the lawlessness it encourages in the general population represents a heavy and expensive drag on all aspects of society, our economy, and our landscape. Hey, Americans, we need to change ourselves. So, an example of a corporation, what they did with their employees' pension fund, General Electric, by some estimates, its pension fund is underfunded to the tune of $31 billion. However, during the time its pension fund became so underfunded, GE spent $45 billion to buy back its publicly traded common stock. The needed funds were there at one point. It's just that the leadership of the company decided to funnel it into stockholders' hands rather than to the pensions of the employees who helped build the company, stolen from the employees. You really need to start getting how bad things are. So Catherine Austin Fitz also says, I know there are people out there who will say, or I'm sorry, this is, oh Jesus, what's his name? John Rappaport. This is what he's saying. I know there are people out there who will say it's all about the illegal Federal Reserve and the transnational bankers. That's like saying the drug problem is all about the Mexican cartels. But then digging further, you'll also come across the expanding opium poppy fields in Afghanistan, the hands-off collusion in Chicago that permits the city to act as a primary hub for drug distribution in the United States, the pharmaceutical companies that traffic millions of opioid pills to dealers, and the 2016 law that strangled the DEA efforts to bust those companies. We have a criminal government operating. They are criminals. It does not matter that you can look at them and identify with, oh, how they look. Oh, they're American. Oh, and they're successful. And they're wearing a suit or a dress. And they look like me, so they must operate like me. Stop thinking these people operate like you. They don't. They don't. I will link below to all of the articles. It worries me that so many people still who know what is happening, they still seem to operate with a normalcy bias, and that's too bad because we are at war. Nothing is normal anymore. Nothing. You need to take action to protect yourself. So, if you really don't know anything about the state of our pension funds, I really do suggest that you do some reading here. The links are below.